All right, we're back after day two. And who would have thought the United States is leading after day two? And we have a guest here with us tonight, John Schmidt. Hey, John, how's it going, buddy?
How you doing?
Doing great, man.
This is the real Captain America right here. look at that patriotism right there. The red, white, and blue. He's got the eagle tattoo on his back. The guy just is all things American right now.
Yeah, I love America. I sure do.
Did you guys think we'd be winning after day two? Be honest.
Well, I mean, if you want to go first, Mike, go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, so earlier today, I was asked how I thought the day was going to go. And when I looked at the schedule, the 3 matches that we won were the 3 matches that I thought Team USA had as good a shot. And it's not to say that Shane individually can't go and get there, but his record in the Mosconi just is what it is. So I like Sky. The kid's just an anchor. I think if they played the Mosconi Cup in January, he's going to be the fans' choice because the kid is just rock solid. He saved the day. Really had a chance to put Team Europe in a massive, massive hole. And yeah, I thought it was going to be 3-2, which is what it ended up being, but it really should have been 4-1 for the Americans. Really, really massive at the end. But yeah, hell of a day by Team USA.
Yeah. Good points, Mike. I'm not going to try to sound like, Mr. Know-it-all, but I've been in that Mosconi Cup, and I think I'd like to think that I'm a good pressure player and a good money player, and I've been in some battles. I have never felt anything like that Mosconi Cup. And so, for those players to play at the standard that they're playing at on them really tight pockets, I've been really impressed. I thought the play was great, and you're going to hear people say, wow, he missed this ball and he missed that ball. Overall, both teams have played amazing. Shane, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, got so many bad rolls in his match against Filler. I mean, Filler made the 9 on the break. Shane got kissed on the side, and in a race to 5, that's death, right? So for us to be leading by a point with Shane losing a couple of sets and nothing went right for him. I mean, he just got really unlucky. Pretty amazing. Now, most people that know me know I'm really good buddies with Chris Reinhold. I think the world of his game, and he is a absolute world-class player. But me being the grizzled old senior citizen that I am, if I could have just talked in his ear for 1 second before he shot that shot, I'd have said, man, cinch it in there nice and slow like a straight pull shot. Just wiggle it in. That way it can rub the rail and still wiggle in. The 6 is hanging, because there's 2 ways to shoot a pull shot, and you guys are both good players. You know this. You can throw the cue at high speed and let it steer itself, or you can cinch the ball and let the pocket help you. You got to go one way or the other. And Chris chose the other way, which works 99% of the time. But man, I wish he would have cinched that little sucker in there. I think we'd be ahead 6-3. And I think he'd be the first to admit that if he could do it over again, he might have smoothed that in there nice and slow,
First of all, John, I got a lot of respect for almost everything you say, but saying that Mike's a good player, I don't know about that. But second of all, and the shot that kind of stood out to me after Chris missed that ball and the Europeans were running out, Al-Kaidi had the shot on the 8 before the 9, and he shot it exactly the way you said. He cinched it in, it rubbed the edge of the pocket and still went in. And as soon as I saw that shot, it hit me like, man, why didn't Chris just shoot that shot the same way? Because the 6 was a hanger.
Right.
All you had to do was cinch that ball.
Well, I understand Chris was trying to get more near the 6, but when you're under TV lights with new cloth and polished balls and very low friction, you could hit that ball that he missed like 4 inches up the rail at slow speed and it'll wiggle in. But he showed a lot of courage to shoot it at high speed. I'm too chicken. I'm going to cinch that ball at slow speed and make sure I make it. I'm not bashing him by any means, but I think when he's 48 years old like me, if he had that same shot again, he'd go, let's make sure I wiggle this sucker in there. And because as soon as he took that big backswing, I went, oh, baby Jesus, he's going to hit it hard. And oh, man, I was drinking margaritas, watching the Mosconi Cup, screaming at the TV, having a blast. It's the only pool event I watch all year, but it is absolutely fun to watch.
It's super massive of a point, man. I mean, 6'3", 5'4" is a completely different,
it's a whole different animal,
different game, and I don't think he tried to do a whole lot because Jeremy just said, just make it. That was the main thing, just make it. But it seemed like he gave it a little bit of inside to go and come off that top rail and then come back out.
A little bit of pace and a little bit of pace, Mike. When you add a little pace, it makes the pocket play smaller. But I'll tell you what Chris did do that impressed me was the 2-ball on that rack that he made to get on that ball was incredible. I mean, very missable shot, and he smoothed it right in. And Chris is a great straight pull player.
Oh, yeah. Jeremy almost got him hooked behind that 3.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And Chris is a great straight pull player. He's ran like 250 on a diamond. So he knows the value of pocket speed and cinching balls in. And I do not want to be the guy sitting at home with my Bud Light saying, this is what I would have done. But that's the one time in life I think you got to cinch that sucker in there. You're up 4-2, make that ball, and you got the 6, 7, 8, 9 on the table. And I think looking back, Chris would be the first to admit he probably should have slowed that pace down. But I love him to death. I thought he's played great. The team has played great. Both teams are amazingly talented, and it's been just great to watch.
So, John, you've been in that position before, and I want to ask your comments on in that match with Jeremy and Chris. There was a bunch of chatter online about, maybe Jeremy kind of got him out of rhythm, doing a little too much coaching in the midst of it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, there is something to be said for that. You're on a shot clock and your heart's racing and your mouth is dry and your hands are sweaty and you're trying to get your partner dead in line, and it's a nightmare. The whole thing is, you could say, do you play faster? Do you don't coach? Do you coach more? Do you slow down? Do you cinch balls? Do you fire them in? I mean, you could lose your mind out there. I didn't play great in the Mosconi Cups I've been in. I played great in spots, but I had meltdowns in spots. So I am not going to sit here and act like the all-knowing, guy that like never did anything wrong. The pressure that I felt in that Mosconi Cup literally like injured my organs. It was so brutal. I've never felt nothing like it. Because I knew guys like Eminem here was sitting at home getting ready to crucify me if I tried. It's like I feel the heat,
Yeah,
it's a really tough
can't
spot.
play. Talk about it.
Yeah, that's why Joey has me on.
That's right. No, I like your insight, Mike, because you have your finger on the pulse of pool and you watch it. And I wish we had a million guys like you that love the game and watch the game and was involved. You're good for the sport, bud. We're glad to have you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's super tough because I like Chris too, and
sure.
But I'm betting on Team Europe, so I'm like I see that. I don't want to see a miss like that because that's tough to go and swallow. Like I would have rather him have missed that 2-ball because that was difficult. You know what I mean? Like
right.
That was it was a really tough shot. But then it's like, okay, they did the work, and I know that cue ball is on the rail, but I like that versus trying to go for that combo because there's a big gap in between
sure.
those 2 balls, and plus the 6 is hanging, right?
I think you're dead right. And again, I'm going to get crucified for saying this, but I'll tell you what, the way Chris shot that ball that he missed, and he made a million good shots to get to that point. So I'm not belittling him, but I promise you, if you had to shoot that shot 1,000 times, slow rolling it, you're probably going to make it like 993 times out of 1,000. When you fire it like he did or hit it firm, you might make it 680. And those are just numbers I'm pulling off the top of my head, but I promise you, you're going to miss it more often. And with the 6 hanging upstairs in the other pocket, I just wish he would have slow rolled it. And
how do you think he handles that, knowing him the way you do and having the experience playing on the Mosconi Cup? How do you think he handles it here, John?
I think he'll bounce back great. He's young, he's a fighter, he's a great player. And the trick in the Mosconi Cup, and really to win any pro tournament, is you have to believe in your decisions. When I first joined the pro events, and I was sitting there playing a match against Johnny Archer, and I'd look over to the right of me, and there's Buddy Hall and Nick Varner, and over to the left of me is Alan Hopkins and Siegel. You start kind of wondering, like, God, am I doing the right thing? What do they think of my choices? And you cannot win matches like that. You have to believe, you just have to believe in yourself, and Chris will do that. He'll be fine. He makes a lot of good decisions. I mean, believe me, 99% of Chris's decisions I'm in love with, but that one there, even if he would have made that ball, I would have said, golly, Chris, you didn't have to hit it that hard. I mean, it was courageous and all, but you gave me a heart attack over here. Just
knowing Chris the way that I do, he's very light and he's got a really sarcastic, humor about him that I really enjoy, and I think he'll brush it off.
Sure.
And there's a lot more games to go and be had, but
Right.
damn, man, that 6-3 and 5-4
Oh
is
God,
just
6-3
nuts,
is a
because
whole nother
USA
animal. Yeah.
USA had them by the throat, and that was the one match that I think that the Europeans were really chalking up as we always got that one in our back pocket because Germany's involved with it, so they're already considering it a win, and to be in a two game hole at that point at 5-4 and then down 4-1.
Yeah,
I mean they were toast. You got it. You got to go and
I
put your foot on the throat there.
I thought Shane has made some incredible outs. I thought Jeremy's made some really awesome strikes under pressure and some shots that were like real missable. Tyler Steyer made a shot yesterday that was unreal on the 6-ball hill. And then today, I think the rolls kind of went his way, but he played great against Filler. Yeah, I'm really proud of Team America. They're making a great match out of it, and they're playing great, and they're having fun, and that's what it's all about.
Hey, can we do this, John and Mike? Because I don't know if everybody knows, but I'm on business in Louisiana, and I'm trying to squeeze in like some of these matches, and I did catch a little bit of them today during my lunch break and stuff. But you can even see I'm still wearing a tie. Can we go through match by match and kind of give us your assessment of these particular matches today? So I guess the first one was a fan's choice, right? Jason and Shane. I caught that match when Shane was up 2-0. Then I had to log out, and then when I logged back in, I saw them interviewing Jason, and I'm like, son of a.
Yeah.
So what happened here in this match?
Well, that was, first of all, they both played great. Jason Shaw played amazing. Shane got up 2-0, played incredible to get up 2-0, and had it. He had a layout that against me he's going to do like a million times in a row. But the Mosconi Cup can just make things go sideways, and he didn't get out. He shot that 7-ball with some left English, and you're going to get a lot of push, a lot of deflection, and that's hard to gauge with the real slippery table. And I think you guys both agree it's like the fastest damn bed I've ever seen. And so he missed that, and then Jason just played like unreal, made everything from everywhere. So just wasn't meant to be. Shaw played great.
What about you, Molina? Anything stand out from that match?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like you were finally going to get SVB going early on. And, when John says he played perfect, out the gate, and 2-0. And I think Jason even said it afterwards where he was like, yeah, it's tough because it's short race 5 and alternate break. You've already lost serve once. And, oh, by the way, you got, the guy who's been playing all year long sitting across from you in Shane. And then some goofy things kind of happen that thin cut on the 7, like John said. Then you go and have, I think it was there or right after that, he got kissed in the side, similar to what happened against Josh. So the tides kind of turned a little bit, and at least from where I was sitting at, I said, okay, I hope this isn't the point where the wheels fall off like they did last year, because it was close, and then all of a sudden Team Europe kind of pulled away. But yeah, it was for Jason to go and hold his own and play as strong as he did, starting off in that 2-0 hole,
right,
shows that he's the MVP so far for the Europeans.
Yeah, Mike, that's good that's funny you brought that up, because remember when Shaw was down 2-0, the shot that he made on the 7 to get it 2-1, he made this long 7-ball from 8 feet away with left English. I mean, it was like hitting a 3-iron or something from 220 on a green. It was just a great shot. I think Shane, and I think Shane would be the first to admit this, he strikes me as more of a reserved, introverted type person. I just don't think he's comfortable out there. Not that anybody would be, but I think Shaw's more comfortable with the crowd and the music and the noise and the high fives. And I just think Shane is like, look, I just want to play you a race to 100 for 10,000 in a private room with nobody watching. He's not comfortable out there because it just seems like I think Shane's the greatest player on the planet Earth. I really do. I think he's the best. And that Mosconi Cup just puts him in a feeling of discomfort, and his game just doesn't quite fire on all cylinders to some degree. And I don't blame him. I was uncomfortable out there too. And I'm not an introvert, so I don't know.
I think the thing is that, like, even because Shane is at such a great standard, that even if you get like a 70% Shane it's still better than like
it's still
90%.
incredible.
You know,
Yeah.
like it's like his high is just super, super high. But the roles have been tough in his singles matches. I mean, he had some tough roles against Josh as well, you know. But great. That's why Jason's there though. He's a great player. He's gonna go and capitalize.
So if you get a 70% Shane though, and he's constantly matched up against Filler and Shaw, it's not going to work out well for him, you know. And I think John hit the nail on the head. There's something about it, short races, or maybe he just can't get comfortable where he's just that much off. And I agree with John. You know, I think he's the best player on the planet too. And, you know, I show my wife and my kids and I'm like, watch this, he's amazing. And then he'll get in the Mosconi race and something goes wrong, you know, here or there. And it's just, he's not himself.
Yeah. I mean, Shane's gambling record is like 282,006. And in the Mosconi Cup, but he's not playing 10 ball where that dominant break, that 9 ball break, he doesn't have a big edge because everybody can hit the 9 ball break shot, you know.
And you're not racking
that kind of holds him back. Yeah, but we have a chance to win this thing, and I got to tell you, to go over there in England and win this, losing Earl at the last minute would be mind blowing.
Okay, but hold on, John, because now you got Jeremy playing singles tomorrow. Now you got Chris playing singles tomorrow.
Yeah,
this was kind of like you're going out there guns ablazing. You've already had Shane go and play his singles on day one, so you know, relatively speaking, it's going to be a little bit lesser of a, you know,
on paper that doesn't look great, but again, you know, you got to remember, and you know this, Mike. I mean, Chris Robinson is a world-class player in a race to 5. Sure. He's really not any kind of, you know, underdog that you could really put your finger on. And Jeremy knows what he's doing too, and he's a great player. Jeremy is a very underrated 9-ball player. I've known Jeremy 25 years, and I've seen him play great 9-ball. So people that think like he's just a one-pocket player, don't get it twisted. That dude can play 9-ball, believe me.
Okay. But wait a minute, John. Let's say they go and ask you, bring your cue, and you're on deck tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
how different is that though, John, when you weren't expecting it?
No, you know? that is definitely rough.
6'3" with Jeremy playing a singles, completely different.
Completely different animal.
Playing on day 3. I don't want to go and make it bigger, but he's, you know, it is a tough spot. But to their credit, though, they've played 5, and that's the beauty of it. They've played like a unit. They've played like a team. They've showed that. I mean, they're not going to be anyone's rug to be walked all over at all. You know, and I think that's been part of the beautiful storyline of this Mosconi.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting to watch, but I do believe 9-ball is the luckiest game in pool, and we have great players on our side. And if the balls break right and the kicks lay right, and you know, like today, I hated to single out Olsen, but I mentioned on Facebook that Olsen made more mistakes than an Alec Baldwin Western. I mean, missed the 8 straight in twice, and you know, that's not going to get it when you play pool 90 hours a week. So
he looked bad, and he looked mentally like he was broken.
Yeah. Hey, look, I got a plan here, guys. I want you to take me through each match. You're getting off on a tangent. It's good banter, but let's go to the second match today.
Let's see, what was the second match?
Sky Woodward taking down Albano. Tell us about that match.
Well, Albin, I mean, they both played really great in spots, but Albin missed the 8 that was pretty makeable twice, and that's not going to get it in a race to 5. And Sky played fantastic and showed, you know, held his nerve. I mean, any win in the Mosconi Cup is so impressive. It's so hard to get out there and play your game because nothing feels right. That match, I felt like the rolls were kind of even, but Albin missed those 2 8-balls, and that did him in.
I think it really set the tempo, and you know, Sky just showed that no matter how many opportunities that he gave, whenever Albin gave him a window back, he was going to go and just and crash right through it and make the best of it and go and capitalize. And that's what great players do. You know, we didn't expect it after Albin just came with shot after shot from the day before when he was paired with Kachi. I thought he was going to be a rock. And like John said, he had moments where like you look like, oh boy, this is going to be a bad spot for Sky, but it changed quickly once he goes and misses. You know, and Sky is just an elite player. I think he set the momentum for the day for the Americans, even though it was match number 2. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big match. That was a biggie.
And especially the Hill the way that it was, because it really led well into that next match, because now you got Sky coming off a win. You got Albin, who just lost to Hill, who's about to go and jump off a bridge, you know, and he's coming back up with Jason. So it was really tough.
Yeah. Talk to us about that match, the Woodward SVB versus Ocean Shaw match.
Oh, God, I'm losing my mind. Who won that match?
Americans.
The Americans.
Yeah. Shane. Yeah. We got actually both teams. I thought played incredible that set. Now that I think about it,
they start off with the golden break. You know, picked up right where they left off from Sky beating Albin. Really set the tempo. But and you know, Jason was trying to because Jason's been playing fantastic. Jason's trying to just salvage that match and go and grind out a victory. But the Americans, they gelled really, really well together, and Sky came with a big shot at a big spot in that match as well.
Well, you know, something that Shaw does that's really great, that if you'll notice and you watch his game, and I just noticed this a lot, but he's known as Eagle Eye and he's a great shot maker, but he's real smooth and smart. He kills and pinches the ball and plays pocket speed a lot and settles. You notice that? Like, he doesn't hit everything 100 miles an hour like you kind of picture when you hear this Eagle Eye and the big long cue. He plays with a lot of touch, and he makes those pockets play as big as they can play. Jason Shaw is a smart player. He is tough to beat.
He will, and he told Albin at times too, like, just make it, just leave me there, and then he'll take a more difficult spot. But he knows how to go make it to where that ball is going to go and take, you know, and he trusts, like you said, his eyes to go and get him there.
Well, especially when balls are laying near the rail, and you know that you can float it down the rail and let that frictionless conditions help you. It's just a very, very smart player.
You're right about that. There was a shot today, John. I remember it was one of these shots where the cue ball's up in the kitchen, and it was the purple, I think. And it was like just a slight cut, but very missable, because you're making it all the way down the long rail past the side pocket. And I'm like, he can miss this ball. He can miss this ball. And sure enough, he missed it, but he made it because he hit it with the right speed.
That's right.
You know, the pocket.
That's right. Well, I mean, I always, like to, I always joke about straight ball, but I didn't run 626 by slamming everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to make the pockets play big by pocket speed, and the Europeans are very good at that. And, the Americans are too, or they wouldn't be pros. But under pressure, I like to lean towards letting them pockets help you.
Yeah. All right. The match after that was the Tyler Steyer Josh Filler match, which I did catch most of that match. But give me your thoughts on that, Molina.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler looked like, he looked like the wheels were going to come off right at the very beginning with that 8-ball back and forth that he had with Filler. And I know he got some rolls to him, but to his credit, there was also times where the kid looked just very poised and professional. Yep. And you want to talk about making pockets look, big or play them to your advantage. Tyler did a great job at that.
Yep.
There were times whenever he had some testers that I was like, okay, here we go. This is where, the Tyler from a couple of years ago may go and peek out a little bit, and it didn't. The ball's dropped. He got perfect.
Right.
I mean, he rolls paired with playing well, and I said at the beginning of the morning that I thought it was a perfect spot to go and put him in, because he beat Josh in that team event match. And I know it was just one game, but he played well on day one. I think he's the MVP for Team USA up until this point. I can't say it enough. Like, that was a massive game, and with the rolls, he sealed the deal.
Yeah, I agree, Mike. I was talking to Tyler privately a few days ago, and he was playing his straight pull on 4 1/8 inch pockets, and he ran like 180. And I know the strength of that. I know how in stroke he is. And he told me, he said, that straight pull makes you shoot a lot of weird shots in kind of a weird way, where you're not really throwing the cue at high speed. I go, I know you got to flutter balls in and hold the cue light, and it'll serve you well in that Mosconi Cup on that fast cloth and those real delicate strokes. And he agreed. He goes, yeah, I think it's a good game to get in stroke. And, he's playing really good. I think he would be the first to admit that today in that match that he got a little lucky. When you miss a ball and you knock it in the side, hey, it's pretty huge. So
9-ball.
But we're allowed, aren't we allowed to get a roll here and there? I mean, yeah, it's 9-ball, right?
Yeah. You are. There's a comment in here. Ralph Cleary says, although Earl not being in it was tragic, looking at it now, it's probably a blessing in disguise. They feel much more like of a team mentality now. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know that Jeremy's going to try hard. He's going to keep the mood in the practice room good. Earl is a rocket ship that if he gets pointed in the right direction, he might take you to the moon. But it can, but he can get a little agitated, and it can rub off on your players. I remember when we played in 2006 in Rotterdam, he was on my team, and Mike Davis literally like threatened his life. It got so ugly in the practice room. So Earl can get a little ornery, but
I knew I should have invited Mike on tonight. Dang it.
No, I love Earl. I think Earl would have done great. And I think Earl's at a point in his life too, where he's like, I'm going to try a little different. I'm going to stay more reserved. And I think you'll see Earl maybe next year on the team. But no, Jeremy's great. Jeremy's a great player and a great mover. And he's going to gel the team together. And all the players like and respect him. That counts for a lot. I sure do.
You think there's better camaraderie, Mike, with Jeremy instead of Earl in there?
I think like from a double standpoint, the couple matches that we've seen Jeremy in, it seems like they're trying too hard to go and get him comfortable. So in that aspect, I'm not a fan of it. But to go and have, the balls to go and say, I'll do it, I'll play, is commendable just in and of itself. And he's had some big spots, big shots.
Yeah.
He's shown why he's a former U.S. champion. He shows why he's got the accolades and the accomplishments that he's had in this sport. But it's a really difficult situation for him to go and be. I think that a lot of the talk has been about the Earl situation. So in some respect, it's kind of taken the light off of Chris or Tyler, where maybe we would have been overanalyzing what their potential performance may have been like leading up to the Mosconi Cup. So it's like they didn't have any donkeys like me going and criticizing their play leading up to it. So in some regards, I think it was a blessing. And when you got an easy, I guess, excuse if you're Jeremy, but then he's still playing good. So it's like all you got is upside, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
and I mean,
and the balls, if the balls break right, you got a chance to win. If they don't break good, if you don't get shots on the one, you're going to lose. I don't think the players are intimidated of Jeremy. They're comfortable with him. Earl, I used to travel with Earl. We've done like exhibitions and stuff, and I kind of thought he was my buddy, but like I was intimidated of him at times to where I'm just like, hey, Earl, pass the salt. You don't know if he's going to punch you in the mouth or what. So he's just not a guy that if you play on the team with him, the players, I feel like the younger players might have tried too hard to like impress him or get along with him. I think Jeremy's a good fit. But Earl would have been exciting to watch too. I was really disappointed to hear about that. But I think Team America's doing great. I feel like they got nothing to lose, guys. I mean, they're in England. Everybody thinks they have no chance, and we're leading after day 2. This is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, they're 4-1 dogs. You get number 5 replaced, 12 hours before kickoff. And I mean, and you should have been up 6-3. I mean, it's been a Cinderella up until this point, I think.
Yep.
So
I agree.
I haven't really flushed this concept out in my mind. I'm just going to say kind of what I'm thinking, though. I had Sky Woodward on the podcast. He said, Jeremy, I asked him to say one word, or I was naming players. I said, say the first word that comes to your mind. And I said, Jeremy Jones. And this guy said, genius. And so the thing I'm thinking is with Jeremy now being out there playing, it's one thing for someone like Jeremy to be coaching and teaching and telling them what to do. But now that he has to be out there playing with them, there's almost a humility factor, right? He's going to walk back to that chair probably just as many times as the other players, having missed a shot or disappointed or something like that. And I think that might be the key to kind of bringing them together, where he is experiencing it with them. And who knows?
He's getting beat up. He's getting beat up too. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe this is going to be the thing that's binding them together this year. That's really going to help because they're overperforming right now. Nobody expected them to be up right now. Maybe they did. But all the smart money's on Europe, and even tomorrow, even Molina said tonight, well, we'll see tomorrow because the lineups are probably going to favor Europe. you know, and I know.
Well,
Molina,
I
you
think
got a
we're the
ton of change
underdog. I
on
mean,
it.
I think I'm realistic. I think we're a slight underdog from here. If we were up 6-3, we were one ball away from being up 6-3. I think would have been the favorite. I think Europe's probably the favorite from here, but it'll be close enough where we're going to make them try pretty damn hard.
Yeah, I mean, just from a money line perspective, I still think that the Europeans would be favored even down by 1 point. At 6-3, it's complete. I mean, like John said, it's complete. It's a fresh. You know, it's completely fresh.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, think of the jeers, like when Europe's playing and they're going Nicky Vandenberg and all that stuff. Like we don't have any of that. We got two people in the crowd going USA. Like that's not going to get under nobody's skin. We got to start getting under somebody's skin with these chants. I mean, come on.
Hey, you must not have seen my memo out there. That he's the guy with the American flag. The American see him out there. That's my buddy from Colorado.
No, I've got to be like, I want to be the director of like the crowd chants with the snare drum and the foghorn and the whole 9 yards.
Oh, that's funny.
I've never been to a Mosconi Cup.
So the last match, John.
Well, no, I've never been to a Mosconi Cup except the two that I played in. I want to go watch one live. Like when it comes to Vegas next year, I want to watch it. You know,
boy.
I was actually, believe it or not, Jeremy called me 6 months ago and said, "Would you be the vice captain?" And I said, "Absolutely, I'd be honored." And that was a done deal. That was done. And then at the last minute, I guess it was pulled away. So, you know, I was going to get to go over there and be a part of this. It would have been fun, but I'm still going to sit here with my margaritas and watch it. I know that.
So that would have been really
this is a dream.
Hold on. This would have been really interesting. Let's suppose you were over there and vice captain. Do you think if the Earl situation happened, you would have got the nod?
No, I couldn't have played. I just had hand surgery on my right hand. And so I wouldn't have been able to play. No, I can't even text. I mean, that's why I'm doing speak to text and pissing off everybody. but I would have loved to have been over there coaching and watching and, you know, stroking Billy Thorpe's mullet and getting coffee for Tyler Steyer, whatever they need, you know.
I bet you're still buying crypto with that thumb, are you?
That's right. I can still buy. I can still hit the buy button. That's right. I lost like 90,000 last week. How am I doing? Let's make it a comeback. Anyway, yeah.
All right. So then we had the Scotch doubles match to end the day. We've talked a little bit about that. You know, I was watching that. I had actually just gotten done work and I was watching that match. And, you know, it's just one of those things. And we've all had those matches, right, where we're at the finish line. We just can't, just had this really bad feeling that when we were letting them get back one game at a time, I'm like, this is enough. It got away from us. And I think we've talked about it, but that difference between 6-3 and 5-4, it's amazing. It's one match, but it seems like it's three matches because you would have been up by matches. You know, it's one of those swings that just set the tone for the rest of the event.
Gigantic. Well, I watched Alan Hopkins and Efren Reyes play about 12 years ago. Alternate break 10 ball, race to 11. Hopkins was up 10-0 playing Efren. Now, what do you think the price is on him losing that match? Efren came back, and Alan got a million chances. Efren came back and won the set hill. Alternate break, 11 games in a row. So these races to 4 alternate break, like you don't start celebrating internally till it is over.
Jeez.
Yeah, and it's just not over till it's over.
You think you're sitting real pretty at 4-1, and it's like one mistake, and then all of a sudden it's 4-3.
I mean,
you know,
4-1,
and then you got a chance.
Yeah, I mean, 4-1, you are the favorite for sure, and you're going to win, you know, 85% of those. But I sat right in the crowd and watched Hopkins lose that match from 10-0 ahead. It's the damnedest thing I've ever seen. So
sports is weird like that, though, man. It's like one fourth down stop, one one defensive goal and stop, one little bunt whenever you got 2 outs in an inning, or or one single, and all of a sudden it can go and open up the floodgates, and that's just what happens. And 9-ball pool is a goofy game. You know, and even at 4, I thought at 4-1, I was like, man, this might get bad because and you know what, and I was hoping to kind of see the Europeans go and play with more pressure because it's been like this, right? Most of the day. I want to see Jason when it's a 3-game, you know, lead for Team USA, or I want to see how Josh is playing. And I know I've seen Josh play quite a bit. Josh is not the same player whenever he's in a hole. He's not. And
I mean, hardly. Like in fairness to him, hardly anybody is. I mean, we can all put on a brave face, but I promise you, if I'm ahead of you 4-1, I feel better than when I'm down 4-1. Some players put on a good face, like it doesn't bother them, but it bothers them. But I don't know. I think America's doing great. I mean, I don't know how the hell we're leading this thing.
There's a good comment in here, and Mike, you talked a little bit about this yesterday, but Matthew McConaughey says, "I want to hear the take on Kachi." He said, "Poor guy looks like he's miserable in that spot." What are your thoughts on how Kachi looks?
I mean, awful is not even the word for it. He looks completely just disinterested in playing with anyone. It doesn't look like he wants to, have anyone rah-rahing him whenever he's partnering with them. It doesn't look like he's receptive to coaching. And I mean, and in all fairness, Albin didn't look very receptive to coaching whenever Laley was going and talking to him while he's, going on tilt against Sky. So it's the Mosconi Cup, and everything is under a microscope and in a vacuum in that regard. So it's difficult, but and even more so because you were kind of the guy with the question mark on you. You were the 5th pick for Team USA. A lot of people were saying it should have been Fedor. It should have been Lecter. It should have been a number of other guys.
Well, Kachi's an amazing player, and I mean, he's just an amazing player. And he has a tattoo on his neck that says perfection, and I have a tattoo on my neck that says I'm doing the best I can. And so, I don't know. He doesn't look comfortable out there. He's trying really hard and things aren't going his way. And I understand how that feels. But Kachi is a great guy and he's a class act. And if he beats you, he's a gentleman. And if you beat him, he's a gentleman. I'm a big fan of Kachi. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, me too. But I do agree that there's something off. And, one thing that you could probably comment on, John, that, everybody else doesn't see. We see the press conference, we see the matches, we see the players, we see how they interact, but there could be stuff going on in his personal life. There could be conflict within the team or something like that. And it kind of looks like there is something really annoying him.
Well, it's probably the 38 girlfriends he has because he's too tall, dark, and handsome. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's got too many problems. He's 22, 6'5", good looking. I mean, if he's got problems, I'm just going to blow my brains out. But he, he doesn't look comfortable out there. I got to play like golf in high school on the team. And it was the most fun I've ever had. I played a little baseball. Not that I was any good, but I just loved the team event stuff. I dig the team thing. I would dig being on Team USA. You can keep the money. I'll donate it to charity. Seriously, being out there in that Mosconi Cup is like living life to the fullest. But Kachi kind of doesn't look like he's having a ball. And, if you're not going to have fun during the Mosconi Cup, I don't know what's going to make you happy because that's as good as it gets.
Yeah. Mike, we lost you there for a second. Are you back now?
I'm back. I think so. My internet can be a little terrible at times. You know that, Joey.
Yeah. So we got to put your PayPal up there so people can give you some jelly for some better internet or something.
I'm gonna get the hard wire in from the router, so I'm gonna be working on that this week.
All right, guys. I think we went over pretty much everything from today. One thing we didn't ask John, since he wasn't on yesterday. John, what are your thoughts on this gray cloth? I'm really fascinated by that.
I think in person it probably looks great and it looks like it plays great. It's real fast, real slidey, which I like. It looks a little washed out on TV. I mean, I'm an old school senior citizen player. I like green cloth and Centennial balls. I will say though, I like that cue ball a lot more than the measle ball. The measle ball gets all chunked up and scarred up. That cue ball they're using, I've played with that ball and it plays good after like days. It's got a different resin to it or something, I think. The cloth though, I don't think it looks great on TV, but it's great cloth. I mean, so what are you going to do? I don't like the color of the balls though. That drives me nuts. I still can't figure out which one's the 5, which one's the 4.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Just go back to the old school colors. But what are you going to
do? Just real quick. So Chris made a post on Facebook and part of it stung, but we're going to come out tomorrow even stronger. I'm playing real well. Just missed the ball. I'm feeling comfortable over the ball and have faith in my teammates to go out there and perform tomorrow. So that's the kind of guy that Chris Reinhold is. The kid's, the kid's going to go and push through it. And looks like his spirits are already up. So, and listen, it's still 5-4, man. And they're showing that it doesn't matter who's there, what guys on the other side or what guys on this side, that, they're equal. So it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I commentated. I've said this story before. Molina Mike's probably tired of hearing it, but I commentated the Chris Reinhold versus Danny Olsen match in Denver. It was a 3-day match, and it was 10 ball, and Danny Olsen played amazing, broke amazing. Nothing went right for Chris for 3 days, and I had breakfast with him right in the middle of the match one morning, and we're sitting there at breakfast, and just the way he was handling everything, I'm like, this kid is going to be a champion. Like,
Yeah.
I really believe that. I think he is
a champion. Yeah.
He is going to be a fantastic player, like somebody who could be, a generational player because of the fact of how he can handle situations like this and regroup and rebuild. And, he's very self-aware. And I think you need to be that way as a pool player. That's one thing about you, John. Like, oftentimes you'll talk about, shortcomings in your game, and you are self-aware, and he's the same way.
Be. Yeah,
he realizes what he needs to work on.
That's why I never became a porn star. I am self-aware. Okay.
Okay.
You got to know what you're capable
of. My man's staying in his lane, he said, folks. He's staying in his lane.
No, yeah, Chris is a great player, and he's got the right mindset for all this. I really appreciate you two doing this and inviting me to be a part of it. All the fans at home listening, without you guys, we wouldn't have a sport. So there's a lot of fun, and this Mosconi Cup brings us all together. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch the next couple of days.
So what do you think for tomorrow, John? What do you feel about the U.S.?
I think Molina Mike hit it on the head. I think on paper we're going to have an uphill battle tomorrow. I think if we could go into the final day tied or down a point, that would be. Well, I guess we couldn't be tied because there's 4 sets tomorrow. Oh, we could be. Yeah, we could be. Yeah. If we were tied or down a set, I'd be pretty happy, and then we'd be able to, get out the popcorn for the last day.
What about you, Molina?
I mean, anything can go and happen. I think that with the matchups, it's gonna be tough. But I've seen stranger things, and it's been entertaining in certain times where I thought maybe somebody was stealing or whatever. At the end of it, I got remembered with the punch in the face that it's a short race 9 ball. And I said that going up to it, and everybody thought, oh, you're just giving them a pass, or oh, it's just a joke. But it's not, man. No. It really is. Like all these guys, doesn't matter which team you're on, the guys who look unbeatable and the Europeans on paper, they're capable of missing. Obviously, the guys who on paper are maybe underdogs and the Americans are showing that they got heart and they're here to fight, and they can go and run 9 balls out and break the balls and jump well and play safe like anyone else. So I'm glad that it's super competitive. I hope it stays close. But I guess I'd be surprised if the Americans go up by, let's say, 2 or 3 games, but I think it would make for just a phenomenal day 4. Either way, I'm going to be tuning in. I know John's going to be watching. This donkey over here will probably be watching too once he gets off of work. So, Joey, what do you think, buddy?
No, I tell you what I think. I think that last year it was something in the air with Team USA where everything was going the wrong direction, and they couldn't get out of their way, and the roles were going the wrong way, and they didn't have it. But this year they have it. Doesn't mean they're going to win, but they know they're in it. They know they can do this. And that alone, just that feeling that they're in it, is going to help them stay in it. And it's going to be close. This one's going to come down to the wire. So I think after tomorrow, it's going to be super close. I don't see either team running away with it. Power, and right now the United States thinks they can win.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to win. I wouldn't want to be laying 4.5, 5 to 1 on the money or whatever people are doing. I mean, that's insulting to Team America. They're great. Those
you want to talk
players.
About sweating? Whew.
Yeah,
John, let me ask you this, John, because you got the call, right? And to go and be a vice captain. What do you like? Put that hat on for a minute. What are you telling the Americans right now?
Oh, right now, I just would keep reminding them how great of players they are, and you are the best players on earth. You're not the best players in your town. You're not the best players in your state. You're the best players in the universe. You're some of the best players in the universe. Go out there and trust. You have to just aim down the fairway and take the club back and hit it. That's what the PGA Tour players do. You have to do the same in these tournaments. And I joke around that I'm a choker and I'm a dog. I've won a lot of tournaments, and there's a reason why. It's because I trusted under pressure what I do in practice. And that's what you have to do. I mean, and if the balls don't cooperate, they don't. but don't sabotage yourself with self-doubt. You're a world-class player. Now go out there and do what you're trained to do.
Attaboy. Go USA.
I got nothing to add to that. You know, coming from a U.S. Open champion, world record straight pull holder.
Yeah, you have to
John
believe.
Schmidt.
You have to believe because nobody else will believe in you. You have to believe in yourself in life.
No, that's awesome. Well, hey, guys, everybody that's tuned in, want to thank you for joining us tonight. Not exactly sure what we're going to do tomorrow night. I'm probably going to be in the air, so it might be that donkey below me might be on. And who knows? Maybe John will come back.
Yeah,
John.
I'd love to.
You'll have to get a new hat for tomorrow, like a cowboy.
Okay,
no, hell no. Keep the hat. Keep the hat. Listen, USA's winning. It's you can't go and change it now.
No, let's not change it. I'll see you boys tomorrow. It's been fun. Thanks for having me.
Hey,
we
thanks
appreciate
so much,
you, John.
John. All right.
Okay, guys.